focus, people. Let's get focused. Okay. Listen, the whole spiel about Richard Sherman um, being traded from the Seahawks to the Pats is, for one, some people have commented and said, "Hey, it's all started by Richard Sherman." That's not true. Because it all started by Richard Sherman. Because Pete Carroll has chimed in on it, and even the Seattle Times have talked about it. So I don't think that's Richard Sherman's doing to try to drum up some publicity for him. Richard Sherman has a knee injury. He's 29 years old. Yada yada yada. He's a what? Pro Bowler, All American, so on and so forth. He can still affect any team. Um, and listen, here's the thing. Uh, it okay. When Darrelle Revis was being traded at 28 years old, Richard Sherman was just coming. I think he was just coming into the game, and I think him being traded had to do with where Sherman was supposed to go. Now I know that it's all cyclical. I know that the trades all tie in. They have to in order to make the game somewhat balanced, and that's basically what these conversations are about. We're starting to speculate that there's an imbalance. There's a disturbance in the force, Skywalker. That's all that's to it. You can't, even though Sherm is 29 years old, he's still a dope player. That's all that's to it. Listen, with all the work that Sherman has put into the game, you put him on the field, that quarterback is still going to think about it before he throws to that side of the field. You know what I'm saying? Despite the fact, even if, when they watch tapes, and all that other stuff, despite that, you could watch a bad game on Sherman and him get burned. And then you can turn around and watch 30 or 40 games where he just burnt the quarterback. You know, it just, it's like that. And so his potential is still there. His questioning whether he can still play at that high level he's always played at. You're always going to bring that into question when you have an injured player, when you had an injury anytime in history. But remember, we made that same mistake with Adrian Peterson, and we counted him completely out. And then he came back and got MVP. He ran everybody over, literally. I mean, so let's not be so, hey, listen, my neighbor, let's not be so quick to say that Sherman is used up at 29. That's for one. And two, to say Sherman started these because Sherman has a big mouth. That's for two. Sherman has a big mouth, but Sherman is nowhere near stupid. Okay? I don't see, or I haven't heard anything he said that would strike me as that was just a dumb thing to say, even when he's mad. Because we all say dumb stuff when we're mad, pretty much. But what he said about Crabtree during that game, he was upset because Crabtree wouldn't shake his hand, and they was talking stuff about him. So he got hyped up, and then end up pretty much turning the whole game out. So I mean, let's focus, people. Let's keep focused. Low under weather. Low under weather. So let's keep focused on that. Now, do I think that the trade is going to happen? No. At first I did. At first I did until I just read the report. And the reason why is because of what Pete Carroll said, and what I was reading about Pete Carroll. And I don't think it's going to happen this year is what I'm getting at. Nonetheless, anything's possible because Pete Carroll says, you play to win. So what Carroll wants basically is a really, really, really good pick if he's going to lose Sherman. That's all that's to it. He wants somebody who's going to be a devastating player, regardless if it's a freaking kicker. He wants somebody who is going to, have that star power potential. And it's not just on the field, it's off the field. You got to understand that Sherman brings a lot of eyeballs to the Seattle Seahawks. You know what I'm saying? It's people want to see Sherman talk junk. People want to see Sherman intercept that ball, run down the field, and hop around the field, and run over to Tom Brady. And you mad, bro? They want that. It fuels the game. Okay, let's get this right. Pete Carroll ain't he? I mean, he made a bad call in the Super Bowl, but he isn't what I would call a stupid man. He knows the earning potential of Richard Sherman. He knows that. Okay, EA Sports, wasn't Richard Sherman on the front of EA Sports? It's in the game, wasn't he? Somebody correct me on that, because I think he was. When you have that kind of star power, you're not so quick to get rid of it, even if that player is not playing up to what you consider the potential. And I don't even think that Carl even said that. But the other part of the conversation made me think that Carroll is not going to get rid of Sherman because he didn't have any definite words. And coaches aren't ones to mince words. They're either going to get rid of you or they're not. And that's just it. So now that I've read more information, I just can't say that it's going to happen. I just can't sit up here and be like, yeah, he's going to go. I can't say it's going to happen. And I can't say it's not going to happen. I'm just leaning more towards not going to happen now. And I'm actually glad about that. You know what I'm saying? Even though I don't watch many games, I like to watch Sherman highlights. But I like to watch Sherman be on the Seattle Seahawks highlights. I don't really want to see him do what Darrelle Revis did. Darrelle Revis left the Pats after they won the Super Bowl, and then he went to, where'd he go? I don't know, the Eagles or something? I don't know, Jets? I don't know. Somebody paid him a colossal amount of money, and he left. But he's up in age. So he knew he was like, look, I got to go somewhere and get this money. Another thing I want to talk about is the salary cap. Somebody got on here and blasted me about the salary cap, talking about Bill Belichick spends the most money. And I want to make this clear to the idiot who got on there and started blasting me. For one, I'm not an NFL aficionado. For two, I never said anything about how much each team spends. I never said anything about what they're going to pay for each player. I don't have that type of time to get into that breakdown. You do it. You do it. You tell us what the salary cap is for the Steelers, for the Broncos, Seattle, you know what I'm saying, Pats, Denver, we mentioned Broncos, but nonetheless, Miami, let me know what the salary cap is for Miami. I'd like to know the Jaguars. Yeah, that's an interesting one. How much money are they putting out? But nonetheless, I never even got into the finances of it, so you can't blast me on something that I never really got into. You know what I'm saying? All I was talking about is how Belichick operates under the salary cap, and they all operate under the salary cap. That's league ubiquitous. I mean, come on, so you can't try to stump me and call me names on something that I really didn't get into and claim that I knew about. It just makes no sense. Now, I said that they got rid of Vince Wilfork because of the salary cap, and they did. Vince Wilfork was a defensive end or a defensive tackle or fullback or it's not, I don't know, defensive tackle worth a lot of jack. And right after they won a Super Bowl and he saved somebody's life, the price goes up for those guys because they're worth a lot of money and they know it. So when they ask for a certain amount, Belichick considers the salary cap and then he looks at the player and then he sees if he can replace them or not. This is what we were talking about with Malcolm Butler. He was like, well, what's Malcolm worth? Well, I can go get a Richard Sherman. That's where that whole thing went. So let's be clear on that. I never said any definite numbers or anything like that. I just want to put that out there. Furthermore, I want to go. I want to look at the relationship between Pete Carroll and Richard Sherman. For one thing, Richard Sherman's a big mouth. That's what I like about him. I usually don't like big mouths. Nobody likes big mouths and know-it-alls unless big mouths back it up and know-it-alls really know. I mean, they just know. And that knowledge is helping you. Nobody likes somebody who's just always, oh, I know everything and you don't know jack. But if you kind of know what the hell you're talking about, you're the resident expert. Okay? Now, when it comes to Pete Carroll and Sherm, I mean, when you examine that relationship, I look at it and go, would Pete Carroll get rid of Richard Sherman? Answer is, would he get rid of him if he was an average player because of Sherman's big mouth? Absolutely. Hmm. He would, and I would too. Right now, today. I'll tell you why I'd get rid of him. Because he questioned Carroll. You know, and when you start whipping them out and seeing who has the biggest one, the coach is always going to be the one that's going to be on top of that pile. And that's just the way it is. When it comes to football, mostly, not when it comes to basketball, because Michael Jordan went through a few coaches. And so did Kobe Bryant. So did Daryl, the White, with the big 7'1" dude. Played for Magic, played for the Lakers, played for. I mean, he went through a bunch of coaches. You know, so in football, it's different though. You know, the coaches are usually the ones who makes the calls of shots, and they have the last word. That's all there's to it. So, to me, their relationship is toxic. But Sherm performs. It's like, man, I can't stand that guy. It's like Troy, you know, and King Agamemnon, and you know, when he was talking about how he couldn't stand the hero played by Brad Pitt. He said, of all the heroes, I hate him the most. Of all the heroes that God gave us, I hate him the most. But he wouldn't get rid of him because he knows he needs him. It's the same thing to me with Richard Sherman. I would say for the next couple of years, you know, Richard Sherman's star power, Richard Sherman's playing ability, uh, you know, just a lot of things that comes with Richard Sherman. You want, you know, and after he's, you know, in his 30s, if he's still a big mouth, they're going to get rid of him. They'll trade him to some team. He'll get, you know, a couple million, you know, on his way out. Probably trade him to the Raiders, you know. And only thing about it is when you get Richard Sherman, you're going to get Richard Sherman's mouth. Richard Sherman will make a damn good politician. So there's my take on it. I had to change gears because of the comments and because I actually started reading what was going on. And I really don't think Sherman's going to go because I was incensed when I thought, damn, if the Pats get Sherm, it's just going to be. But I don't think it's going to happen. So you guys let me know what you think. It's your boy Tone 202 coming at you one more again. Don't forget to subscribe. Peace.